Soil and Soul this Sunday. We're talking about the power of co-creation. I'm Reverend Em, and I'm one of the founder members of Creative Roots Ministry. Creative Roots Ministry is an intentional ministry. We hold the intention to serve through right action which really serves you, our community, through getting real. We are here showing up to support you, to show you're not alone. We're addressing real world problems. Creative Roots is not religious. We do not practice or promote fear, doubt, lack, or worry. We know life does not happen to me, it happens through me. And we know we can't stop something happening, but we know we can change how we react to it and allow it to affect us going forward. We bring you belief systems from all around the world so you can feel into what feels right and resonates with you. Here at Creative Roots, we know the importance of right relationship with all of life. We see you. We believe you and believe in you because we know who and what you are beyond what the world of appearances leads you to believe. So you get to remember and recover your own power and return to your natural state of being in a way that feels right for you. We believe in bringing back balance, knowing there is only one love, one power, one presence, one life living as the one people, the one planet, and the one universe. This week's service is about rediscovering our power, because we are living at a time where so many of us feel disempowered. We feel so stuck. Good morning, Angel. Hey. And we feel so trapped often by our circumstances. So right here, right now, I'm inviting you to put down your load because we are here with you. You are not alone. All of you is welcome, and I mean all of you. Thank you, Angel. So your pain, your anger, your frustration, your laughter, your joy, and your curiosity, all of you is welcome here. And I absolutely love it when you comment in the chats like this. So it's such a blessing this morning to meet you, Angel. Thank you. And remember, if our service does support you in any way whatsoever, click subscribe because it's free and you can find us easily and keep up to date with all we've got to share. Or maybe you know someone who's going to benefit from the service, and then feel free to share again. So this week, so many things have happened for me here. Thanks, Angel. Mo left, one of our volunteers, and he left to return to Egypt. And Simon came to join me here at Creative Roots Portugal, as any one of you can as a volunteer. And Simon's interested in being a co-creator. And of course, we all co-create, we just don't realise it. So being a conscious co-creator, we get to really connect with each other and really build something together, to build something for community by community. And I asked him, Si, I said, what do you feel that I should talk about this week? Because each week I always talk about something that's really up and important in the faces of many. And he said, what do you think you should do when it looks like the bad guys are winning? And I thought about that. And I thought, yes, I shall do the service on that. And I love everyone. And I am everybody's friends. I never take sides. I am just so at ease and love everyone. So, of course, I shall be your friend. And I found a poignant quote by Viktor E. Frankl. And it's this: between stimulus and response, there is space. in that space is a power to choose our response. And in our response lies our growth and freedom. I don't know, good morning, Enki. I don't know how many of you have heard of someone called Viktor Frankl, but Viktor is an incredible person who was caught in, good morning, Digital Dish, and he was caught up in a concentration camp in Germany under Hitler. So he found, in what you would think would be an impossible time and space, he found that between a stimulus and a response, there is a space there. And in that space is our power to choose our response. And in response lies our growth and freedom. My location, although I'm in Portugal, we're an international ministry, and our services serve currently, to my knowledge, over 42 countries. So I'd just like to bring you to recognize your body and your breath. And even when we breathe, there's a little space in between the inhale, the exhale, and the inhale. And what you'll find is that space is where we can get more space from, if we can just be with those spaces. In between each and every one of our cells, there is so much space, you know. The whole world is made up of space. If we can tune back into that space, we can tune back into our truth of who we are. And it's my intention to use this service to provide a space while we digest and process what I'm sharing. I love you too. And it's no surprise the astrology this week is asking us the question, what's real? What's done? And what is asking to be reborn? In our outer environment, Dr. Jane Goodall made her transition. May she rest in eternal peace, leaving a legacy for living our lives in relationship with life. You know, it wasn't just about the monkeys, which are, or the primates, our closest relatives, animal relatives. It was about being in relationship with the earth. And the Nobel Peace Prize was awarded this week to an amazing woman who's put her life on the line in the name of peace, Maria Corina Machado. She's been supporting people's democratic rights in Venezuela as the country moves from dictatorship to democracy, you know? And as many of you will be aware, Donald Trump is a little bit disappointed at the moment because he believes he is credited for the peace across the world in many places. And I understand what Jeffrey Sachs has shared about how simple peace is and how Trump has been the only person in the way to world peace. So I've chosen today to share my current awareness. I'm about to speak very frankly and say things as I have come to see them, and you might not like it, but I am not sorry. These things need to be brought to the surface. For too long, we turn away from how things are and pretend we're okay. You know, we will say, good morning, how are you? I'm fine, I'm fine. But how many people want to hear, how are you really? You know, especially white privileged people like myself. So I'm using my position today as a white woman to speak freely. And my intention is to get real and raw and authentic with as much loving awareness as I can muster to address these issues, these global world issues, with the intention of bringing back balance I don't want to forget either, there is people that believe that we live on a round earth. There is people that believe we live on a flat earth. And regardless of what earth you believe that you live on, we're all in it together. So I'm going to address the global issues today and look at the current whitewashing of the Israel and Palestine issues and of promoting Trump's peace deal in Gaza. The truth is, this peace deal is for a part of Gaza, while Israel, not the people, but the government, are still dropping bombs on another part of Gaza. It's all overcomplicating something that ought to be way more simple. The excuse today, good morning, Chris, is, by the way, Hamas killed 1,195 people in the attacks on October the 7th. Israel is justifying, or the government of Israel is justifying, the 7th of October's incident by attempting to eradicate a culture, a state, thousands of people of all ages, all belief systems, and entire generations of people. This battle has been going on since the great British Empire gave the people of Israel land after the fall of the Ottoman Empire in 1948. And America itself is falling apart and far from peaceful. The army has been told to prepare for a war from within and sent the army in amongst the peaceful people of America. The people, the places, the families torn apart by the ICE agents, the money going into arms, into intelligence, into training armies, creating more conflicts. Israel's fighting people on 7 different fronts for this tiny little country. Like, bless the people of Israel, totally. My heart is with them. And for all beings that walk the planet. But to be so cross and so upset and to feel that you have to fight 7 different people, like areas, 7 different communities, more than communities, 7 different races, 7 different countries. And you think, how is this possible? It's because they're being supported by the USA and the UK. And the amount of money that is being spent on this far exceeds the amount of money being spent on immigration. But immigration is being used to whitewash the people so that they turn against each other to cause division and to be able to conquer. The governments are disempowering people with smoke and mirrors, so it appears to people like there's threats to life, there's threats to our safety, threats to our security, so they can create fear within us, which then creates us to be divided. We forget that we are not separate. We cannot hurt one without hurting them all. Oh, you're from Pakistan. Good morning. Did you call Dish again? From Pakistan. I love Pakistan. There's also been the battles in Pakistan and India. So this has been a whole big thing against a part of the Arab nation in the Middle East. It's crazy. After the past few years of stories of COVID and immigration, there's the cost of living been going up, the healthcare standards and food standards have been going down, and people have been kept, everyday people are kept balanced on an edge, and the edge of life and death and survival. This means that we're caught up in fear, a fear-based mindset, a survival mindset. We're stuck in what's called a survival brain, which is the limbic brain based at the back of the skull, like the size of a fist. And it means we're not able to come into our prefrontal cortex, which is this this part of the brain here, and that's all about logic and reasoning. So the more we're kept in a fear-based state, the less we're able to think for ourselves, and we believe what we're fed with the news, which is really the old, the media, things we come across on Facebook, on YouTube, all these different things. So the government thought, oh, I don't know, how do we get people to pay attention? Because we need something to really catch people's attention right now, because everything that's going on is pretty intense, and we really need something big enough to capture people's attention. So they've made out there's a peace deal at a place where the conflict is 77 years old, as a way to please and appease the people who are witnessing for their own eyes that something's not right here. This is because they had to come up with a way to take people's eyes off the ball. You see, never in my lifetime, or the lifetime of any woman or man alive today, have we ever seen something so horrific happening right beneath our noses. And by the great power of the internet and communication, as we're talking to you guys, in Pakistan, in Venezuela, in the UK, across Portugal, all these 42 countries, Malaysia, America, all these people from different countries right now, right here, this moment, we are all communicating and connecting with one another. We get to enter into each other's lives through the power of the internet. We're able to see how we are truly connected. Thank you, Digital Dish. I shall drink some tea. So there is no delay between a bomb going off somewhere in the world and it showing up on our live feeds. So this is how we know that as they've struck the peace deal, there is still bombs going off in Gaza. No one gets any opportunity to do anything anymore on such a scale without us all seeing what's going on. So media blackouts do not work the same as they used to. MDS Construction, good morning, hello. Yes, Vikas, good morning. Yes, I live in Portugal, but I'm from the UK. So people talk as we are doing this morning. And most of us get to chat with friends worldwide within minutes, anytime, day or night. Good morning, Victoria. And we get to see for ourselves what's happening in the lives of ordinary, peaceful people everywhere. And we get to work out what is real, and we get to make our own minds up. This has led to people becoming aware of who is complicit in what conflict and how. It's leading us to undeniable proof that the ones who we believe to be leading us and protecting us are the people doing anything but. You're from Ethiopia. To Ethiopia right now. Love to you, Victoria. And we see how our own armed forces in the UK and USA are playing a part in the genocide in Gaza. For us watching truly inspirational humanitarian missions like the Global March to Gaza, which birthed March to Rafah to get aid to Gaza in June. Thousands of people from 32 countries around the world came together and showed peacefully. We stand in solidarity with the people of Gaza, and we stand on the side of humanity. There has been boats sailing across the seas from all around the world to open a humanitarian corridor, including the largest ever humanitarian flotilla with 42 boats. It was an incredible sight to see. All these peaceful humanitarians were then attacked and intercepted in Israel, in international waters, way before they reached Gaza. Good morning, Chimpy. As we have witnessed in real time and heard from the individuals like Mandela and Greta Thunberg, European MPs, journalists, retired veterans, doctors, nurses who have followed their conscience and then was taken, strip searched, had vital medication taken, had religious head coverings removed and then been refused to wear them and have that head protection. And they were beaten and paraded around by the armed forces, made to kiss the Israeli flag. That stuff is horrendous. And according to the Geneva Convention, according to the UN Human Rights Commission, that should not be happening. We have absolute rights. They're called absolute rights as human beings on this planet. And degradation, humiliation, and torture should not be happening anywhere on the planet. And yet these Israeli forces, run by the government of Israel, not the people, the government. We must get this right. We must remember we are not against people. We are recognizing the lack of the leadership in the leaders today. Remember the astrology, what's real, what's done, and what's asking to be reborn. Well, we're left wondering, where was our government? Where were the United Nations? And whatever happened to the Geneva Convention? Good morning, Louisa. Bon dia. And we're then being made aware, thanks to the power of the internet, the historical context of all of this. From various sources, we're able to see crazy connections with colonialism. And we wake up and realize this shift's been going on way longer than most of us realized. You see, how people of colour have been portrayed as savages. We've seen slavery go from in our face and in our communities to a hidden underground movement. People of colour have been playing characters in movies and have been drawn into comics and newspapers, which has fed a belief system that people of colour were a threat and dangerous to our way of life. This has built so much BS, belief systems, that have then made us turn against our own brothers and sisters. We realise now that religions have been blamed for war, and it was not religion, but the greed for power and presence on the planet. And it is not Jews who are doing this in Israel. No, it is the government, not the Jewish people. It is not followers of Islam who committed crimes in the Middle East. People may claim to do things in the name of religion, but beneath all these religions and all these different belief systems, I am telling you, there is love. And there is no God in existence who doesn't love without a love beyond all understanding. Regardless of what you believe, whether it's Mother Nature being the mother of creation, she supports life. She is always healing and supporting and growing and expanding and evolving. Whether it is quantum science, where you just believe in science and you see that everything is always is just infinitely expanding and evolving. Whether you believe in Islam, whether you believe in Judaism, whether you believe in shamanism, underneath everything, every single belief system is the one love. And this is the common ground which we find ourselves on today. It's clear now there is a divide, and the governments are not representing real people, but representing their own interests. Greta Thunberg nailed it. After being released without help from the Swedish government, despite being humiliated and assaulted, she said, "Let me be very clear. There is a genocide going on in front of our very eyes. A live stream genocide on all of our phones. No one has the privilege to say we are not aware of what is happening. No one in the future will be able to say we did not know. Under international law, which states they have a legal obligation to act to prevent and stop a genocide from happening. That means ending complicity, applying real pressure, and ending arms transfers. We are not seeing that. We are not even seeing the bare minimum from our governments. Our international systems are betraying Palestinians. They are not even able to prevent the worst war crimes from happening. And this global summoned flotilla was the biggest ever attempt to break Israel's illegal and inhumane siege by sea. And it is a story of global international solidarity, of people stepping up when our governments failed to do so, of people saying, my leaders, so-called leaders, who are supposed to represent me, who continue to fuel genocide, death, and destruction, they do not represent me. And I could talk for a very, very long time about our mistreatment and abuses in our imprisonment, trust me, but that is not our story. What happened here was that Israel, while continuing to worsen and escalate their genocide and mass destruction with genocidal intent, attempting to erase an entire population, an entire nation in front of our very eyes, they once again violated international law by preventing humanitarian aid by getting into Gaza while people are being starved. And we want to emphasize that we do not only need humanitarian aid to enter Gaza, we need to end the siege. We need to end the occupation and the oppression. This action is exactly what's challenging our extremely violent business as usual that is preventing the war crimes from happening. And this is what the story's about. We cannot take our eyes off Gaza, from all places in the world that are suffering, living on the forefront of the business as usual. What can I do to help then? Good morning, Saturated Odin. And Rob, don't Brits have problems at home? So I am going to explain what we can do to help. And Rob, when you realise how interconnected we are, the Brits' problems at home, if you just rewind a bit to earlier in the service, you'll see how our British people, our brothers and sisters in Britain, are part of the genocide in Gaza, how our pension funds have been used to create $7 billion worth of money that is providing arms that are blowing up Gaza, how we have been providing intelligence to the Israeli military. These things are at home. They are on our doorway, and we are not separate. Christians genocide in Nigeria and not one person. Well, I would love to know more, PB. Bless you. Thank you for joining us this morning. PB, please get in touch with me. I would love to know more about Nigeria, and we could do a service for the Nigerians, because it isn't Christians. It will be people, maybe the government, the colonialism. It isn't Christians. Christians are people who are trying to be Christ-like. They're living, trying to be Christ-like and behave like Christ. Christ did not massacre anyone or harm anyone. He was pure love, about love beyond all understanding. And therefore, I ask you, what people are behind that, please get in touch with me, and we will work together to create a service to raise awareness of the people of Nigeria. So thank you for raising that today. Zilla, Free Palestine. T, Free Palestine. Siddhartha Das. Namaste. Yes, for Gaza. Our hearts with practice can be so huge and so whole. We can hold it all. Westerners who manage to go against the indoctrination and stand against the violence. Absolutely. I'm sorry, I can't see where your name who's just said that, but absolutely, I have total respect for people who are waking up and standing in solidarity with their brothers and sisters across the planet and saying, no, this is not right. We will not stand by and allow this to happen to our global family. So, as Greta said, it is no wonder there is an international outcry. As you can see today, just through the chat, we the people, our governments do not represent us. This is not the peaceful life that we we all intend to live and we work towards. And I wonder, when did politicians stop serving the people who put them in place and trusted them to create safety? And it does appear that politics have become a big business, which became clear when Donald Trump wanted peace with Ukraine and Russia for his part and share of the pot in Ukraine's national resources. And look at all the other different things like Sudan, and like I'm bringing in Sudan. I don't know much about Sudan because they're doing quite well at keeping it quiet. But I know what we see in Palestine is nothing compared to what's going on in Sudan at the moment. And that makes me feel incredibly sick. And a lot of this can be traced back to the great British Empire, America, and colonialism. Just think, at the beginning, America was built pretty much on immigrants. You know, the Europeans went over to America, to Turtle Island, to people living relatively in peace, in relationship with peace with the planet. And they went over and they tried to divide and conquer. And they took peaceful people and they took land and they tried to destroy all of it in the name of progress. So we're going to look again, despite it looking like the bad guys in the movie are winning, because the power of the people is rising. Ordinary people are outraged and they're feeling the pain and the suffering, the incredible pain and suffering that we are all feeling at the injustice of it all. And it's what's pushing us into waking up from our sleep. That's the blessing here. As we are all bearing witness, we all know in our gut, in our soul, this is not right. And it's pushing us to wake up and say, as the guy did just before, what can we do about it? How can we show up? How can we, as one single human being, create anything that's going to support our global community? How do we do things that's not here when it's right under our noses? How can we, a single person in one country, help someone in a different country when maybe we haven't even got a passport? But as we realize what is really happening today, by default, we are reuniting as community. Think about that now. We are reuniting as community and coming back to each other and recognizing, like today, this multicultural talk, this great witnessing of one another through the powers of the internet. We are able to come back together as one global community. Creative Roots Ministry is just providing a space. We are providing a space where we can all come back into connection together and see each other, bear witness to each other's suffering, and give each other love and respect, and hold that space where we share what's going on and we learn together. We are all in it together and we're able to support one another through just being here today. And remember the separation of connection that was brought through COVID. We are reconnecting. We're coming together to unite on the common ground where we know without question each one of us has an absolute right to safety, to freedom from torture or degrading treatment. In this respect, the Israeli army has now lost its media reputation of the most moral army. And we all know so much differently now. Right now, today, we all stand in solidarity with a global family, together knowing the importance of freedom of thought and of conscience and religion. Creative Roots Ministry stands in support of all spirituality, of all religions, Islam, Christianity, Judaism, Buddhism, shamanism. We are omnists. We're respectful for all paths, knowing underneath it all is the one love, the one power, the one presence. It's all love. What's real, what's done, and what's asking to be reborn. Excuse me. What's real is the grief that we're all experiencing, because we all in one form or another hold so much grief collectively for what we think and feel should be still here, right now. We all share the same dream for some way for our lives to be safe and for us to live in peace. I'm now going to share a prayer from Rising Appalachia. So as a prayer, this is not a Christian thing. This is a prayer. There's many people pray. We're just speaking to something outside of ourselves. We're joining together is to make a prayer field. So there's each one of us with our different belief systems joining together in a prayer field to just show our love, our respect, our solidarity, and bring in the new. It's one way in which we can today, right here, right now, do something other than showing up today to share and raise our awareness through this service. So this prayer is from the words of Rising Appalachia. It's about folks who've become ancestors too early. So we want to invite all of you to take a moment to light a candle. If you've got a candle around, take a moment, take a minute to just light that candle. For those who have gone too soon. For the many, many, many ancestors that have come before us. Many walks of life. They got us here. Just take a moment. Hold those folks in your mind. The people of Palestine, the people of Israel, the people of Russia, the people of Ukraine, the people of Poland, the people of Nigeria, the people of the Congo, the people of the Sudan, all these people that have gone too soon from these conflicts around the world, regardless of their belief systems. They were all part of that one love. For all our relatives, for all our brothers and sisters, our aunties, our uncles, for every single one who has already made that transition, we're holding space for you right now. Prayers to the flesh, prayers to the earth, to the jungle, to the seas, to the forests and the cities and the suburbs and the concretes and the creatures and the eagles and the earthworms and the humans and the doctors and the science and the mythology and all of the cosmos that threads us all together. May incredible inventors step in and bring us transformation that we cannot yet see, solutions and service yet to be. May we be big-hearted and touched by the absolute majesty of this whole entire complex earth. May we each be expensive. May the doctors and the nurses and the clinicians and the social workers and the shamans and the poets and the priests have deep faith in our powers to heal. May they be flexibly attuned to each of our innately different makeup and see the gifts of our own individual alchemy. May dire times distill diamonds, quiet ways which we choose to come closer, dig deeper, to simplify. May we slow down, may we get smaller, closer to the earth, and ease, and find joy in the simplest of places of our days. May the intensity of a great crisis also bring along it the lessons of our good humour, love of breathing of the stars, of our innate mortality and our radiant contentment, our resilience. May dire times distill diamonds. Thank you. And so it is. So mote it be. Ashe. Aho. Amen. Thank you so much for joining us in that moment of prayer and praise. Today, may we wake up to being in relationship with life in all its forms. Today, may we meet souls, not roles. Someone said to me, I don't want to just be a welder. And I said to them, you know, you're so much more. You're a father, a son, a grandson, a friend, a support, a volunteer, a co-creator, a welder, a water lover, and so much more. Because we are all so much more than we think, than what we are led to believe. We disempower ourselves, we limit ourselves, and our environment can limit us too if we let us. Remember that quote from Viktor Frankl as we started the service? His environment could have limited him, and even in that environment in a concentration camp, he was able to find that space enough within the power of his mind to find his peace. And I am here to remind you of your power, because your power is not out there. There is a part of you which can never be damaged or disempowered. And maybe you forgot that. And that's okay. This experience of life and living can really influence us. You do not have to let life influence you. You can take back your mind. As with anything, it's a practice. You know, some people go to sleep, they wake up and they're enlightened. That doesn't happen for all of us. People like Eckhart Tolle, maybe. But people like you and me, maybe one day we'll wake up enlightened. And until then, we just can come into our practices of being in relationship with and looking at what resonates with us as we move through life together. You can change, though, what you listen to. You can change your environment. You're not a tree. You can get up, you can move. You can change your thoughts, and it's a real slow process, and it's possible through the practice of loving awareness. 90% of your day, you're running on unconscious survival programming so you can get by. You know, when I was talking about the brain, we're caught in our limbic brain instead of our prefrontal cortex. And this means, like, when you walk or you talk, the chances are you're not thinking about it like, oh, how do I walk? I shall move my leg, I shall move my foot, I shall put my foot down, I shall lift my foot up, and I shall walk. We don't do that. We usually just get on with it. And that's because throughout life, we've stored memories of what's worked and what hasn't. And a lot of the things we're doing is we're living off what worked for us. And it just comes natural. So what you do is a whole collection of memories playing out as you go out throughout your day so that you can stay safe and get through the day with ease and grace. Memories made from very good and very bad experiences. Every experience you've ever had. Your incredible mind is stored in its data bank of awareness so you could stay safe and meet your most basic needs. Only now you're carrying around data that's no longer necessary. It's keeping you from reaching your next expanse of awareness. I like the affirmation or mantra of I am loving awareness. I am loving awareness helps raise your awareness of awareness. So if you just take a moment and think about it, I am as in this human experience is loving. So I'm a loving witness. I am raising my awareness, my consciousness, awareness. I'm just being aware of awareness. I'm being aware of my mind. I'm being aware of what's happening in my body. I'm being aware of my environment. Can I do it from a place of love? I am loving awareness. We are all loving awareness. But can we be loving awareness in a more aware way? You know, each one of us is walking about doing the best we can with what we've got. But can we really bring ourselves back to ourselves and be that loving presence, that loving awareness of what is? Now is the best time to clean up and reprogram your data so you can power up. Let's face it, you can wait to tomorrow, but why not start today? Why not start now? So I've got a couple of practices here that help you to raise awareness. All this raising awareness, what it does is help you become more you. It's helping you show up in the world. But you always have to take care of yourself first, because it takes a lot of energy to bear witness to the suffering that goes on in the world. So I'd like to invite you to return to your body. And you think, how do you return to your body? I mean, I'm in it, but we do it through the breath. And this breath is the breath that's breathing you. So placing your attention on the breath. Don't hold your breath. Try not to breathe out or in for a minute. And watch yourself, because as you watch yourself, your body will just breathe in that breath without you telling it what to do. Your body is just breathing for you, you know. And notice the changes in the sensations in the nostrils. Be aware the chest, it's rising and falling as you breathe. The breath is coming fresh from source, from Mother Earth, from Pachamama. You're inhaling oxygen, you're exhaling carbon dioxide, and the trees are doing the opposite. Their leaves are pulling in carbon dioxide, water and energy from the sun to turn it into sugars that feed the tree. This process is known as photosynthesis. It emits the oxygen that we need to breathe. Each breath is an act, an incredibly sacred act of co-creation. Such a blessing. And now I'm just naturally the excitement of co-creating and breathing and not even trying. I'm co-creating with the trees and the plants. But if we place a slight smile, you don't have to like Cheshire Cat smile, you don't have to force it. It's kind of a Buddhist practice, but they knew what they were doing, because as we place a slight smile on our face, just, kind of, dare to kind of have a small smile, your body consort starts creating chemicals as you do. When you slight smile, your brain releases neuropeptides, endorphins, dopamine, serotonin, and it improves your mood, it reduces stress, and it lowers your heart rate. The physical act of smiling, even if you're not happy, triggers a chemical reaction that leads to feelings of well-being and makes you feel calmer. I mean, how awesome is that? Certainly brilliant for depression. And we have this thing in science that's called emotional contagion. Emotions can spread through social networks like a virus. And when you're happy, your positive feelings can be caught by those around you, creating a ripple effect. By default, you're co-creating happiness. So far, we're co-creating with all of nature, which is like incredibly fantastic. And we're also co-creating happiness through a simple smile. We're cheering ourselves up, and by hardly even trying to slightly smile, and other people are going to start that too without being asked or told. And everyone feels better. How about that for helping with one of the world's greatest problems, which is feeling stuck and hopeless? By helping people feeling a bit happier, those calming the nervous system, it helps their neural cortex, their prefrontal cortex, come online. That helps the logic and reasoning. They can think straight again. And when we're all thinking straighter, we're making the planet way more peaceful, because we're not going to react, we're going to respond. And when we respond, we do it with awareness. Knowing that you're doing something which is good for the good of others, it activates your brain's reward centers. It releases feel-good chemicals like dopamine and serotonin, while fostering the greater sense of purpose and connection and well-being for you. So as you go through your life, you can make a mighty difference on the planet by remembering you're always connected, just through the breath, and you're always co-creating. A simple smile can change someone's day. So I invite you to make it your practice to put a slight smile on your face and raise your awareness and listen without ears, so you're feeling into hearing with the body consort. Tuning into your inner GPS helps you get progress soon. GPS, get progress soon. When you're unsure because you're so busy doing, as people are these days, it's helpful to feel into what is safe. Tune into the sensations in your body. You know, when something feels wrong or you're not sure, when something feels off, you'll hear a voice, or you'll get some kind of gut feel, some sensation that says yes, no, or I'm not sure about this. So bring yourself back to how you are, your presence, and feel into seeing what shows up for you. With practice, you find your body's GPS always keeps you on the right path. I have another practice for you, but I'm not going to share it today because I've given you quite enough to be contemplating this week. But the thing is, by rebirthing this new earth, we have to remember our power is coming from within. Your power as a single person, using only a slight smile, is incredible. Just think what could happen as you co-create. You're attracting other like-minded souls. As you practice, you're empowering yourself, you become stronger. As you tune into your GPS, you learn how to trust yourself without looking outside of you for the answers. It's a win-win. Your life is going to get better. You will become more aligned to your power and to your purpose. This reconnects you to your soul self. It redirects you to your soul tribe. It wasn't your purpose to be disconnected from yourself or one another. Even those that choose to live apart in solitary lives, they know they're connected to the all of everything through things like yoga. Yoga is the union of mind, body, spirit. It brings you back to oneness with what is. Fear is what disconnects us from ourselves, from each other. Fear shuts down the prefrontal cortex, keeps us in survival mode. And the most courageous act you can do is reconnect to yourself. By connecting to yourself, you're repairing and recovering your relationships with yourself, with all life. You develop strong roots so you can hold strong to your values. You become more responsive and less reactive. You recover and regain and maintain a peace of mind because you're able to come out of survival and back into safety. You discover for yourself. Your fears were anxieties of what might happen or what has happened. They do not exist in the safety of this here, right now moment in the body consort. This is where your body consort is, and this is where your power lies, waiting to be reclaimed. Your power as a sovereign being gifts you a strength that cannot be taken away. You're secure in yourself and secure in your knowingness. Greta Thunberg knows this. It's why she could go through such harsh, degrading treatment and stay focused on her goal, on what meant the most to her. She genuinely cares for all of life and believes in a peaceful, fair planet. Mandela, Nelson Mandela's grandson, knows this. his journey in solidarity with life, and his talk after his release following 6 days in captivity in jail. He shared the importance of co-creating with community, and how it wasn't just his own community, it was the African community and the international community, and how Mandela carries on Nelson Mandela's, his grandfather's legacy, freedom for all, regardless of belief systems. I quote, like our founding father, our current democracy and global icon went to Tunisia on the 27th of February 1962, and he knew very well, in order to effectively fight the apartheid regime, we needed to build solid solidarity with the international community. I now share a quote from Nelson Mandela. Just before we go on to Nelson Mandela's quote, it's important to say it might be interesting to look up, why did he go to Tunisia on the 27th of February 1962? And you know, back then with Nelson Mandela in the 60s, this war in Gaza was still there, and Africa was deeply affected by what was going on. And Nelson Mandela spoke about the Palestinians back then. That's how long this has been going on for. This quote from Nelson Mandela. Really feel into these words because they're so powerful. No one is born hating another person because of the colour of his skin or his background or his religion. People must learn to hate. And if they can learn to hate, they can be taught love. For love comes more naturally to the human heart than its opposite. How incredible is that? And he's right. We are not born with hatred. We are born as the one love from the one love. And throughout our life, our experiences, what we're fed, what we see, what we bear witness to, leads us into belief systems. You put children of all colours that speak different languages, you throw them in a playground together, they will play. They will get used to each other. They will connect. They will come together. They will unite. It's important to remember our truth is that we are one, one global family. And Nelson Mandela, he knew this. So our power, it comes from the ability to think freely. You can take back your mind and recover your power. You already started by being present here today. So now we're going to share a prayer based on the lyrics of Resilient by Rising Appalachia. Speaking these words for each one of us. We are resilient. We trust the movement. We negate the chaos, uplift the negative. We show up to the table again and again and again. We close our mouths and learn to listen. These times are poignant. The winds have shifted. It's all we can do to stay uplifted. Pipelines through backyards, wolves howling out front. I've got my crew, but truth is what I want. Realigned and on point, power to the peaceful, prayers to the water, women at the centre, all vessels open to give and receive. Let's see the system brought down to its knees. We are made of thunder. We are made of lightning. We are made of dirt, made of the fine things. Our fathers taught me we're a speck of dust, and this world was made for us. So let's go try our luck. I got my roots down. Down, 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 down deep. So what are we doing here? What has been done? What are you going to do about it? when the world comes undone. My voice feels tiny, and I'm sure so does yours. But put us all together, we make a mighty roar. We are resilient. We trust the movement. We negate the chaos. We uplift the negative. We show up to the table again and again and again. We close our mouths and learn to listen. And so we are, and so it is. Amen. Aho, Ashe. I just remind you a little bit about this. There's a part of this pipelines through backyards. You know where that's coming from. Yeah, there was people putting pipelines in America. It's talking about the gas and the fuel and things like that, and how we're destroying our planet for the sake of greed. You know, it's talking about how we can show up and we can just keep trying. Like Nelson Mandela's grandson, Mandela Mandela, he was explaining that, you know, how many times did they fail? But how many times did they get up and just keep trying? It's so important that we do not let our eyes get taken off the ball. It's so important that we keep saying, well, actually, no, we're staying aligned with what feels right in ourselves, in our body consorts, and we're standing up in solidarity, and we're here with our global brothers and sisters saying this is not right. You know, I stand on the side of peace and of humanity and of fairness. So I'm so thankful for our time together today, for the opportunity to remind you of how important you really are, of how much power you have as one person, as one personality in one place on the planet. I mean, look, I am one person, one personality on the planet. I'm like talking now, I'm speaking to people in at least 42 different countries. Each single one of us has a power and a purpose. With one smile, we can just change our outer environment. And it's not even a full smile. You have so much power as an individual. And your purpose on the planet is to be love and peace. And you'll have an individual purpose as well. There'll be skills that you have, things that you've learned and you've grown through in this experience, or that you're growing through right now, that will enable you to help empower others. As you empower yourself, you'll be able to share those skills with other people. You'll be able to show up in the world and just shine your own personal light from your own personal state of awareness because of what you've grown through in your lifetime. So I know how important you really are, as each single one of you. And I believe in you. And I know, as sure as I speak these words into being today, you matter. You really do matter. And you really do hold the capacity to make a difference on the planet. What's real is different for each and every one of us. What's done has been done. We cannot change what has happened. Our power is lying in what we can do with what we have now and what we know now and how we can move forward. So things don't work. That's okay. We can move forward through that. We can grow through it. And what's going to be reborn? Well, it certainly looks like it would be a really good idea to start taking responsibility in where our power lies. For a long time, we have given our power away to outside sources. And by taking responsibility, standing in our own power as sovereign beings, we can peacefully come together and co-create some momentous changes, creating a safe place and safe space for all lives to live in peace. The love we make in community stays with us wherever we go. And it takes a community to build one. So if today's service has served you in any way, click subscribe. It's free. So you can find us again easily and keep up to date. And if you know anyone who might benefit from the service, do share. Love donations are welcome. Please see the bio. We're now bringing the service to a close, sending out a blessing for each and every one of you. May you reclaim your power as a person. May you remember that you breathe and you belong here. May you return to your right relationship with community and right connection with all, now and forever. Namaste. Thank you so, so much. I love you all. Have the most awesome week. Stand strong and keep building them roots, people.